Okay, so I want to do a real life example of maybe you want to revamp your website. So I'm going to actually use this website as a guide. So this is a website that someone has that they're having a hard time converting. And I wanted to use it as an example of how, one, why the way you create your website is important because it's how you speak to your ideal patient or client. And sometimes when you're getting traffic, but they're not taking any action is because your website is not really guiding them to. And if you haven't already downloaded my free ebook called Brand Personality, there is a section that talks about the yes. And so essentially what you're trying to do is you're throughout the website trying to build the person to take action. You're trying to get them to say a lot of little yeses. And what that normally looks like is creating content that speaks to your audience in order to get that final yes for them to take action, whether that's making an appointment, an enrollment, or scheduling a meet and greet with you to get a bit further. All right, so here is the website, and the colors, they're fine. The logo's fine. Most likely looks like a stock logo. So I wanted to just essentially, when you click on this website, love that it's mental health and substance abuse therapy, but I don't really know how you're going to help me. There's just no trust being built. It's like when you shake someone's hand and there's no confidence in it and you're not really sharing with me. You're just like, oh, hi. Like normally when you say hi to someone the first time, you kind of give them a little intro, like, hi, I'm Alexa. How are you? Kind of ask them about themselves, talk to them. Like when you say hi to someone, do you normally say, hi, I'm Alexa and I do XYZ? Normally when you say hi to somebody, you say, hi, I'm Alexa. How are you? What's your name? What do you do? Like you try to learn more about the other person typically, especially if you're the one introducing yourself first. And what happens is sometimes people don't see things that way with their website. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and we want to start here. So what I typically would do, and when you go through the whole course, you'll see how to write your copy and everything and really make those emotional connections. And we have a guide included. But what you'll see here is that we need to create content for this website in order to put something on there. Now I'm going to use my bare wireframes, my drag and drop. I'm going to implement the picture images and information that she has, the colors, and we're going to kind of go through that step by step. So on the About page, I'm going to see what information I can get. I actually want to show you something pretty cool. I'm going to copy this link and I'm actually going to go to ChatGPT, a message here. I'm going to say, analyze this current website's information and help me create content for the homepage. So first I wanted to run an analysis. The reason I wanted to run an analysis first is I wanted to kind of like figure out like, how are we going to position this? What are we going to do? And also, so it gets the person's information. So if you already have a website and you already have some content, you don't want to start from zero because you did put some work into it, you can do this with ChatGPT. ChatGPT allows you to put in the website and it will analyze it, which is super cool. So I pulled some basic information, substance abuse, individual, family. I'm going to ask it, is there any further content we can use? Is there any further content we can use to better expand for the homepage? Also, is there a tone in the current site that will help us create the new one? Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to see if I can pick up on the tone from the person that created the website and kind of see. So it's saying client testimonials, says to enhance the homepage, the therapy, Horizon Therapy consider incorporating the following. So saying this is some extra stuff that we could use that could help. The existing website conveys a professional and compassionate tone, emphasizing accessibility, the comfort through telehealth services, maintaining this tone and expanding. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's start on the home page. On the home page, implementing this information. Okay, so this is what it's going to come. Let's see what it comes up with. Your path to mental wellness starts here. At Hopeful Horizon Therapy, we provide compassionate, personalized care for teens and adults navigating mental health and substance abuse challenges. Our convenient telehealth services allow you to access professional support from the comfort of your own home. Our services, and then why choose Hopeful for Horizon, and to meet our team and what our clients saying. This is obviously just some basic info. Okay, I don't like the way it wrote it, so I'm going to say, let's focus on the home page only and really focus on creating an emotional connection where the reader feels this is the place for them. Okay, so it says, here's a revised homepage concept. Now, of course, using ChatGPT, it does sound very much like a computer sometimes, but it definitely helps, right? So life can feel overwhelming at times, whether you're navigating anxiety, depression, substance abuse, or family challenges. You don't have to face it alone. I like that because it's kind of tying in first with like the pain points. At Hopeful Horizon Therapy, we believe everyone deserves a safe space to find clarity, healing, and a renewed sense of purpose. Our telehealth services are designed to meet you where you are, emotionally and physically. From the comfort of your home, we provide the care that feels personal, compassion, deeply supportive. Do you see how that's a whole shift from this more basic intro of like, yeah, you're still telling them what you're doing, but what you want to do is you want to paint a picture. Like, think of all the brands that you've ever bought into, like Apple. Oh my gosh, Apple, like they're the least hacked. And as a designer, that's why I picked Apple over my PC in the past, because my PC would always crash during design projects. And I heard that Apple, they're hard to hack, and they also crash less. And then I got Apple and I stopped running into the issue that I used to run into when I had a PC. So anytime you've ever bought into a brand, you need to think of like, why did I buy into that brand and what problem was it solving for me? I didn't buy Apple necessarily because it was like beautiful. I bought Apple because of the fact that it was a reliable product in my mind based on the information that was given to me, and also now through experience that made me want to buy an Apple product over PCs. And every time I still give a PC a chance, my computer crashes and it can't handle my design programs like Apple can. And because of that reliability, what Apple means to me is it's a reliable product that does what I need it to do, and also everything syncs. I love how my phone syncs, my iPad syncs, and everything syncs seamlessly from one product to another. And so because of that, it creates a smoother workflow. So that's just an example of when you are trying to sell something, you're trying to make a connection. And what does that connection look like? How is that person going to be like, oh, if I work with this particular clinician, is it going to create a seamless process for me? Is it going to create am I going to now be understood? Am I going to now feel peace? Am I going to now understand the root issues of why I have what I have, or I'm struggling with what I'm struggling with? And so when you're not really focusing on how to create those emotional connections, because let's be honest, they haven't met you. Like, yes, it's so much easier to sell and like someone to get to know you when they've met you in person. But this is your one opportunity to make a connection through words. And this is why words are so important for your website, and why opening a website and not having much there makes a big difference. So I like the direction that we were going here and on this newer one. safe space for every story. Love it. And then how can we help goes into the services. Why choose us? Kind of talking about, it kind of goes more into validation on this one. And then we have the information that we could put in the footer. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. Typically put a lot more text on a website, but for the purpose of this demo, and I'm just going to work with this as a starting point. But typically I definitely put more text on the website. And I would say typically I try to write pages around 500 words, sometimes between maybe 350 words to 650 words, just depends. The services page sometimes can go up to 700 because of all the bullet points and services and information on services. And typically that I include the pricing on that page. But in this situation, typically like when I'm writing, I try to keep it between 350 and 550, just depending what the context is. The homepage is typically going to be a little bit longer. It's kind of like where you're feeding people, trying to get them to take action. So let's go ahead and pop into using the wireframe. So I have a blank canvas open, and in my DIY course, I show you exactly how to do all of this. So once I'm in, I have my assets, and these are part of my bare wireframe assets. Into her about page, and I'm going to try to download this image if it lets me. Here we go, save image. All right. And then let's see. I'm going to ask it, I'm going to ask the chat GPT, can you add an intro bio? So the reason I'm asking it to add an intro bio is because I want to typically like feed someone to the whole entire intro, and also I like to introduce myself somewhere on the page, maybe not immediately, but once I've kind of like, you know, called them out, kind of started having that conversation with my potential lead on my website, and then I kind of want to like introduce myself. Keep it to one paragraph. Okay, so I'm telling it to like cut it down a little bit because it's a little bit too long. All right, so let's go ahead and go to my text. I typically design around my text. So I'm going to go into my assets, which this is part of my bare wireframe assets, which I call my bare wireframe library. And I'm going to first start with this image here. And it's really awesome. They're pre-designed, so you just drag and drop what you want. Then I want to kind of go into, let's see what the text says real quick on ChatGPT. It says we're going to move from every space has a story. So then the next one is going to be every space has a story. So I'm going to find something that doesn't have a lot of text. I want to use this as her bio. So I'm going to move this here as her bio. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in kind of that quote. Let me see. I don't like to do too much. Like if I already did one picture, I want to try to balance it. So I'm going to try and see which one I would like to use. I might go ahead and use like this quote in here and put it right in between. And if you don't like something, it's really easy to delete. Like maybe that wasn't the one. I have a couple of different quotes that wasn't the exact quote one I wanted. So I'm going to look again, and that's one quote there. I like this one. So I'm going to pull this one here. So I might get rid of that button in a minute. So I have my image. I'm going to have my story text here. Then I'm going to have my intro to her bio. And then I'm going to go back to checking out my page here. And we have, how can I help? So now I'm going to go into service. We have 4 services. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in a kind of like a service design. So, and this is like really easy to edit. And again, my course really goes into detail how to like do everything. Here's one of the services. Let me see. Oh, perfect. Here's one. Let's use this one. So these are my services, and I might tweak it a little bit. One other thing, I'm going to zoom out just so I can kind of see the flow. Let me go back to the image. So I'm going to put some corners, soften the corners a little bit. See, okay, I can live with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop in our text. I am missing some. I'm missing one more. So let me go back to my chat GPT here, and we have where hope and healing meet. And put that right here. And if you want this in all caps, there's actually like this quick way to do it over here. Also, if you have fonts that are part of your brand, it definitely would change all that, but I'm not going to focus too much on that right now. All right, and now I'm going to actually move this to the left, and I'm going to add in a paragraph like this. I'm going to change the color so you can read it. I'm going to do white. And then I'm going to pull this. And then this is where I'm going to add my other text. This one. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and pull this here. And then, of course, you'll want to add in your images and all that. But right now I'm going to add in all my text first. So where hope and healing meet, life can be overwhelming. I'd probably pick like an image or filter the image a little bit further. And then I want to go into the story aspect here that says a safe space for every story. So I'm going to put that right here in this box. And then from there, I'm going to put in my next text. Now, of course, I would obviously recommend, and again, in the copywriting course of the modules, we'll explain this to you. But obviously you want to create some text in here that is more in line with you. Obviously, I have not talked to this particular person, so I obviously do not know them intimately like I do on typically my project where I've spoken to my clients for hours and I know them pretty well. But I'm going to go ahead and put here my 4 services. And also, these are the very same templates that I use to do my semi-custom projects now. So I can definitely, like, the nice thing, like, you can put in the color scheme, like your color schemes and all that. So then I'm going to go ahead and copy my text here and pop that in. And then typically, if you had multiple pages to feed them for each one, you would want to keep the button there. If you don't at the time, you can remove the button, and the course will teach you like how to add buttons that aren't there later on if you needed to. But the nice thing is like you have access to this library and you can literally create your website in probably a couple of hours, nothing crazy. Like I'm almost done with the homepage, and that's that I'm here talking, and it's been probably 20 minutes, and I probably spent 5 of those minutes so far to write some copy and throw it all together. Now I'm going to pop in her information, but just real quick, I just want to show you so far. We have our intro page here. We have a safe space for every story. This could you can either keep the button and lead it to maybe somewhere else, like where all your services are, or it could go to an individual page where you want to further kind of just talk about a specific service. But this one particular would make more sense to give it to like an overall service. I'm going to go ahead and remove these buttons, this design. Okay, this is on a repeater, so when you make an edit on one, it kind of deletes it on everywhere else, which is nice sometimes because you don't have to do it manually. Okay, and then from here, I'm going to go ahead and put in the bio. I could go in and do why choose us. I'm going to skip that for now for the purpose of this demonstration and put in her bio next. So let me see. Here it is. Meet Christy. Put the heart behind Hopeful Horizon Therapy. I might take off meet since it says the heart behind. So I'm just going to put her name. Look better too. And sometimes you do have to kind of like make a decision to like remove certain things that just don't work. And let me go ahead and pop in this information here. So this one's a little bit, where's my shorter one? Here's the shorter one. So this one, we just want like a paragraph, nothing crazy. We don't want it to take up a lot of space. You can already see it expanded, which is fine. It's still within that perimeter. On this one, I am going to justify it to the left just so it looks a little bit better. Make sure the text is also justified to the left. Perfect. Pull this. And then I'm going to put a little more space. And again, it's one of those things when I'm designing that I like make these decisions on like what I feel looks better. And sometimes I don't really know until I'm designing. And that's what I like about these, because it's just so easy to like make these modifications and changes. All right. I'm going to pop her picture in here that I just downloaded. I'm going to go ahead and upload that. And pop her picture in here. So now we have her picture. And so although we don't have her website colors in just yet, I do need to pull those. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and edit here. I'm going to change the secondary color. And again, some of this you're not going to be able to see exactly what I'm doing. But again, you'll learn all this in my DIY course if you choose to get it. So this is her brand color here, which you'll see will lighten up some of these filtered areas. Then if she wanted to make these white, she could. If you wanted more of that white background, you can pop that in. I definitely would put some call to action typically down there, but right now this is kind of where we've taken the website. Also, even though she has this mauve color, I'm going to go ahead and pop her logo in here as well. Oh, I already downloaded it. Okay, let me insert her logo real quick. Go ahead and put the logo right here. Now, I typically don't like kind of this cloudy vibe here because it isn't always easy to read. So what I'm going to do is I like to hit add, and then I like to just bring it down in that color palette that she has. So I'm going to pull it right around there. And now that color is, and of course there's a more proper way to do this, but for the sake of demonstration, I just want to kind of show you. I do want to go a little bit darker on those so that way you can like read the text. Lower this to like 10 so it's a bit darker and you can read. And then what I sometimes like to do, and I don't know if it's going to work with this logo because I normally would do like a lighter color logo, is sometimes I like to push it back. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the header back forward. Okay, that does work. And so now we have the logo, and then let's say I'm just for the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to pop in some images real quick. So I'm just going to use some that Wix already has over here. Media from Wix, and I'm going to say therapy. So I'm just going to use this one where someone's like speaking to the therapist. I'm trying to see where to move myself so I'm not on the way. So maybe add in an image like that where now they're talking, and then here I might pick something a little more neutral, maybe someone like sitting on the couch. Let's see. So I like to use key terms that tie in, and I like to pick things that match. Like I'm going to kind of see if I can move this image over. So I'm going to move it over to where this guy is speaking. If you follow me, you know, I always say I probably spend a lot more time picking images than I do actually like doing anything else. I might even use this image here, and it's just the feet talking. Here I might put, and I always pick images that kind of go in that color palette. So then here I might pick something that's like family, and then I'm going to find something in that warm color palette that kind of goes with the brand colors. I'll just do this because they're on the tablet or something and it's online, so it is teletherapy in a sense. And you can kind of see like how the vibe begins to come together. Substance abuse. And again, I want to keep that warm tone if possible. There are other free websites, but I don't want to go into all that right now. Working on computer. Sometimes I'll do working on computer as a term because, especially for telemedicine, because you don't really know who they're talking to on the computer. And they could be in a therapy session for all we know. I kind of want one where it looks like they're on a call. Now it might kind of change. See how the tone is changing because I did not pick a color in the color palette. And that just kind of shows you the difference of when you don't pick something in that warm color palette. There were some that I liked, like this would work, but obviously I don't want their hands. I want it to look like they're having a conversation, like in a telehealth visit. Like this would honestly, I'd prefer that over the other one. It's just, and then I can even slightly zoom in like that and crop it where it's more focused on the person on the call. And then we can do something like with a teen. So I can find like a teen. And you can see again that color palette, how it stays consistent versus that other image that I put in. This would be great. I'll just go ahead and use her because of the coloring. So yeah, there we go. I just want to tighten this up. Okay, so right now we've gone from, just a reminder, this is what the homepage was before. And in about 30-ish minutes, we created some quick copy for the homepage, and we were able to use my bare wireframes to quickly create a website. And again, you can always modify this very easily to better suit your needs. And it saves so much time than trying to design everything 100% yourself. And that's it. So I hope this tutorial helped you.